The national news now just minutes away. Every vote counts as the all-important race for the White House comes down to the wire. Just a few key states will determine who becomes the next president. And with the nation on edge as protesters swarm streets right across the country. That's soon. Good evening. As we go to air tonight, the United States has a presidential fight on its hands. The election remains still too close to call. So here is what's happening right now. There are 5 states that could determine who becomes the next president: Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada and Arizona. Currently, most counts have Joe Biden with 253 Electoral College votes. That's much closer to the magic number of 270 than Donald Trump, who is trailing at 214. To win, Biden needs to hold on to Nevada and flip Arizona, where he's currently in the lead. But the count is still on a razor's edge.
Friends, I'm confident will emerge victorious.
Joe Biden edging ahead in his battle to topple the president.
I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Ashley Maloney is in Washington for us tonight. Ash, do we expect to see the president soon?
Well, Daniel, the president's schedule has been cleared for the next 24 hours. He would no doubt be laser focused on these election results.
Thanks again, Ash. Appreciate the update. Let's go to Tim Lester. He's in Joe Biden's camp. Tim, the stage still there, very much set.
Daniel, Democrats at Biden headquarters here were convinced they would cheer a new president yesterday. Of course, a far tighter vote count cruelled their party. Well, tonight, the Democrats' billboards are still lit. The stage is lit too. And the Biden camp still thinks the celebration here is on.
Good on you, Tim. Thanks again. Long days, aren't they, over there? Well, that unleashing of legal firepower signals Donald Trump's last-ditched effort to hang on to his presidency. In America's complicated electoral system, postal votes have emerged as the critical factor. But those in Trump's sights insist they have done everything by the book.
The paper trail that's turned into a legal minefield. Dozens of states, a swag of different rule books, and an election headed for the courts as the tide rolls against the Republicans.
Paul Kadak is at the Supreme Court in the Capitol. Paul, where to now? Where are the next legal steps, according to the Republicans anyway?
Good evening, Daniel. More challenges in more states are expected as the president has his legal team pursue every avenue. Some of those, though, are already being dismissed as long shots. Both sides are certainly getting ready for some lengthy battles ahead. They're now asking their supporters for donations to pay for the future legal challenges. Daniel.
Paul Kadak in Washington. Thanks again. Well, as we wait for an election outcome, the Prime Minister says he has faith in America's democratic process, maintaining a diplomatic silence on Donald Trump's legal challenge.
It's not for me to run a commentary on those things, and I won't.
Yeah, Labor leader Anthony Albanese says every vote must be counted.
Democracy is too important for it to be undermined by any individual.
And it is interesting to note that the 71.9 million votes that have gone to Joe Biden are the highest a candidate has ever received in any presidential election. And we'll return to the race for the White House during this bulletin if any news comes in. But to other news now, and there is other news. A promising COVID-19 vaccine candidate is set to be produced in Melbourne as early as next week. Though it all hinges on the success in its trials. The jab's still yet to pass the final stage and to gain approval by the industry watchdog.
An injection of hope into an incredibly tough year.
We can look forward to a much better 2021.
Jodie Lee, 7 News.
And Australia has gone another full day with no locally acquired COVID-19 cases. That's the second time in a week. It coincides with a big day of green light announcements for some of the state's biggest events, but not the Mardi Gras.
It was Sydney's last big event before coronavirus shut down the city. Happy Mardi Gras! But now the virus has shut down the Mardi Gras.
Well, the interstate rivalry heats up. How New South Wales plans to steal jobs from other states. How an elderly man fought off an attacker during a terrifying home invasion. And a cricket star's brother sentenced over a fake terror plot. How long he is set to spend behind bars. The New South Wales Premier has today launched a $250 million fighting fund to steal jobs from other states. Gladys Berejiklian is offering new tax breaks for companies to base their headquarters here.
It's the Premier's annual State of the State address. And after bushfires and now COVID, Gladys Berejiklian says she's learnt a lot about crisis.
Sports on the way. The Blues survey the damage as Wayne Bennett revels in one of the great Origin boilovers. And Wallabies coach Dave Rennie wields the axe for the final test against the All Blacks.
Tonight's Sport Report brought to you by the new Toyota Hilux. Awaken your unbreakable today.
Boyd Cordner remains defiant, but calls for him to consider retirement are growing louder after yet another head knock. The Blues were stunned by the Maroons, though, in the Origin opener last night. Game 2's on Wednesday. It's now do or die.
Putting on a brave face, Brad Fittler searched for the positives.
Absolutely. And I think our players learned a huge lesson.
Michelle Bishop, 7 News.
It's rare you see him so happy and animated. Wallabies coach Dave Rennie's animated. He's wielded the axe for the final test against the All Blacks at Suncorp Stadium on Saturday night. With the Bledisloe Cup gone for another year, 5 players from the record loss at ANZ have been dumped from the starting side. That includes the rookie fly half, Noah Loalesio.
He's got a really good skill set, but that probably wasn't sharp enough in the weekend. We did consider throwing him back in, but it's a very, very young group.
Yeah, Reece Hodge moves to number 10. Hazardous conditions for parts of the state. Elly Wicks has got your weather details next. And Justin has sent in tonight's one. Oh, the beautiful colours of a jacaranda. These ones in Port Macquarie. Got some? We'd love to see yours. Photos at prime7.com.au. Time again for a look at international weather details with Elly Wicks. Elly, wet for some today and really windy for others tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly is the case. Good evening. Well, over the past 24 hours, we've had the gusty winds and some really heavy showers hit our east coast. Overnight, the south coast received 20 to 40 millimetres, and today the heavier falls reach our central areas with around 10 to 20 millimetres falling across a number of areas. The low that's brought this wild weather will continue to bring a few showers towards the east this evening, possibly tomorrow as well, but in the west, a high pressure will start to bring dry and mostly settled weather, especially throughout our weekend. So the bulk of the showers are still expected across some of our central, even southern areas as well. It'll start to move up across the north coast as well. As for all this rain that we can see in parts of our west, that won't be arriving until about mid next week. Well, to our Friday forecast now, we're almost there. Mildura is heading for a top of 23 degrees, Wagga 22, partly cloudy, Wollongong heading for a top of 19 degrees with gale force winds expected. There are a number of warnings across our coastline as well. Damaging winds are expected along with hazardous surf. That's pretty much right across the mid-north coast, the Hunter and some metropolitan regions tomorrow. And taking a look across the country, we're expecting hot and mostly sunny weather up north, 35 for Cairns, Brisbane 29 with plenty of sunshine and strong winds continuing right through Sydney with a top of only 19 degrees tomorrow.
16 in Melbourne, 35 in Cairns.
I know where I'd rather be.
I know, exactly. Thanks again,
Always hot weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again. That's your news for this Thursday, the 5th of November. The latest is along at 10:30 for everything you need to know about the US election. Thanks so much again for your company. I'm Daniel Gibson. Till I see you again. Have a great night. Bye for now.